code for the booth, Mr. Piper?
529.
Okay.
$530.
Okay. Welcome to Southside. I am so excited that you guys are here this evening. You know, when it's a nice small group like this, it would be so easy for me just to stand down there and talk to you without a microphone. But for so many people who are not really comfortable getting out at this current moment, we are live streaming this on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to make sure that I'm talking into a microphone, and I'm going to step way back away from you so I can have my mask off so that people that are watching at home on YouTube are able to hear. So I know it feels very strange with a small group for me to be up here with a mic, but I just wanted to let you know. The other thing to tell you about me is I can't stand still. So I pace all the time. That's just me. A little bit of, you know, I'm always up and moving. So it's super exciting to meet you guys tonight. My name is Dr. Miller, and I am the principal here at Southside High School. This is my 3rd year at Southside, a year unlike any other. This is my 11th year serving as a building administrator. Before I came to Southside, I started teaching here in the Fort Smith Public Schools. I taught at Timmons and I taught at Ramsey. And then an opportunity came open for me to move over to Van Buren as the principal of Coleman Junior High. I was there 2 years, and then we went through a grade reconfiguration, very much like what we're doing right now. And I got the opportunity to research and come up with information on freshman academies, on how important freshman learning is, and got an opportunity to open the freshman academy in Van Buren. And I served there as principal for 6 years. I had said I would never leave Van Buren schools. I absolutely loved my gig at the freshman academy, but the only job that ever interested me was Southside High School. I was very fortunate to teach here and at Ramsey at the end of my career, which was a Southside feeder. Knew a lot of teachers that had moved up that I had nothing but great respect for. 2 of my children came through here, so I was super excited about it, but still just really didn't know, kind of watching it. Knew Mr. Haber would be retiring fairly soon, and when I saw the millage went through, and we were getting an opportunity to build for freshmen and bring freshmen into the high school setting, I knew that was absolutely the job for me, to help be involved in that work. I know that you guys are freshmen or parents of freshmen right now, and you want to hear about 10th grade, and I'm going to talk to you about that. But I also want to start with saying that I believe the year that you are in right now is the most important year of your high school career. And I think it is so important to have that on our campus so that students understand that freshman year is high school. You may be in a junior high setting, but you're working on grade point, you're working on transcripts, you're taking classes that will put you in programs of study, help you make completer status, and that starts your freshman year. And I've always said, if you want a great senior year, focus on your freshman year, because that really sets the stage. You can't have one without the other. There's a lot of statistics about the importance of freshman education. One of the most startling is that students who fail a class their freshman year are 35% more likely to drop out before they attain their high school diploma. And it requires a lot of intervention to overcome that. The importance of attendance in the freshman year, now let's take a pandemic out of that situation. But in any other situations that we might talk about, the importance of attendance cannot be downplayed. Students who are critically absent in their freshman year are 45% more likely to drop out of high school. So the year that you're in is so important. And I know that during the time that we're in, it's much more difficult than we've ever had before. But I encourage all of my freshmen, I see I've got a couple of students out here, don't downplay the importance of your freshman year. It really is truly critical. And our job will be to take you from that freshman year and help transition you into a beautiful sophomore year. Look at it this way. Sophomores are going to come and you will never be the low guy on the totem pole, right? We're going to have freshmen freshmen come in underneath. So you're going to kind of slide right in there into your sophomore year, which is really, really awesome. Another thing I'd like to start by talking about, I'll do this first. I'd like to introduce, I have Miss Sarah Williams up here with me. She is our lead counselor. So she's not going to take part up here on the stage tonight, but she's here to help me answer any questions you might have about the registration counseling process. And then she and I will be here to answer questions at the end. He's sitting in the back. I don't know what he's doing all the way back there, but I have Coach Dameron here with me as well. He is our head football coach, but he is also our building athletic coordinator. So he is responsible for more than just football, but all of our athletic programs. And so I'm going to, when we get to that part, going through course selections, he'll come up here and talk to you a little bit about athletic and activity opportunities here at Southside. So we're super excited for him to do that. So that's who we have here with us tonight. The thing I always start with when I'm talking to people who are coming to Southside for the first time is when I came to Southside 3 years ago, I knew we'd gone through a mascot change. My students were here my children were here when there was a different mascot. And so when I walked into the building and I started talking to students, I'd say, okay, tell me what a Maverick is. And they couldn't tell me. They would say, he's this guy on a horse. Or they would say, he looks like a cowboy. And I'd say, well, that's the image. What is a Maverick? And they would say, kind of like a rebel. And I'm like, okay. Well, what's the difference between a Maverick and a rebel? And I asked this same question to 8th graders and 9th graders at Chapman and Ramsey recently, and I found out, which I did not know, there's a bird called Maverick. Every group knew this. Kudos to whoever the life science teachers are that are helping them learn about their birds, because I didn't know that. And I did love one kid at Chapman. I said, tell me something about a Maverick. And they said, they're better than a grizzly. And I said, oh, no, don't say that. But I did laugh a little on the inside. Only on the football field, people. Only on the football field do we talk about that kind of thing. We got back to it. And I said, tell me a little bit about what it means to be a Maverick. And so we talked for a little while about the difference between a Maverick and a rebel, and I'm going to put this down because I've used my hands for this a lot. When I talk about what it means to be a rebel, we're talking about pushing back against something. They're kind of hitting that wall and they're pushing back against it. And I said, well, let's talk about that for a minute. If you're a rebel and you're pushing back against something, what does that mean? Well, there's something out there that you don't like, something you don't agree with, something you're trying to change. And a rebel doesn't go with the flow. They're pushing back against something and wanting to make a change. And that's great. But what does it mean to be a maverick? How is that different? And the conversation we had is, mavericks aren't pushing against and trying to change something. We talked about kids. When I was talking to the students, I said, how many of you have ever been told you're in your rebellious years? And they went, oh yeah, I hear that all the time. You know, you're rebelling against authority. You're rebelling against your mom and dad. You're rebelling against school rules. You're pushing back against something that makes you uncomfortable. But a maverick is trying to go the next step. And the image that always comes to mind for me is that of an astronaut. And I think about that rocket ship. And it's especially interesting to me now with SpaceX and doing new flights into space. And I think about the astronauts that are sitting in the top of the rocket, up in the cockpit, and that ship that's underneath them is full of tons of what I was calling diesel fuel, but the assistant principal told me it's actually rocket fuel, which I should have figured that out. So he's sitting on top of all this rocket fuel, and then they're going to light that thing on fire, and it's going to combust, and there's going to literally be an explosion underneath these astronauts that send them into space. And I thought, what a maverick. That's someone who's trying to go and learn and do more, find out more, explore more. I'm a real Star Trek junkie, and people don't know this about me. It's kind of a different scenario. But I think about that entrance to Star Trek where they say people going out and exploring new worlds, going someplace no one has ever been before. That's what a maverick is. A maverick is going out to learn more, to do more, to be more. And what I challenge our kids every day is I want you to be more tomorrow than you were today. Be more today than you were yesterday. Learn something new, explore something new, try to do something new. Think about your future, think about your goals. Has anyone in your family ever been to college? If not, wouldn't that be an amazing goal for you? If everyone's been in your college, did anybody go on really good scholarship money? If not, that might be a great goal for you. If college isn't in your future, what great career could we find for you straight out of high school that's going to pay you much more than minimum wage and be able to help you set up your family for success? That's what a maverick does. They try to be better tomorrow than they are today. I've had conversations with students about that a lot because in a pandemic, this is really hard. What matters to us right now might look a little bit different than what mattered to us before. And to show perseverance, and to work harder, and to do more, and to help at home, and to be kind and compassionate, respect. All of those things are what we expect from a Southside student, from a Southside Maverick. We want them to learn more, do more, be more, achieve more than what they've ever done before. When I talk to football players, I went to Chapman and talked to those 8th and 9th graders. I said, okay, you're going to come and you're going to play football for me. And I have to tell you, the only ring I have is a bowling ring. We haven't won another state championship since I've been here. And I want a handful of rings. Who thinks they can come here and win me a ring on the football field? And I said, I know, we're in a rebuilding situation. We've hired a great coach. We have all these great students coming up. We're in a rebuild. How many of you think you can win me a state championship in your high school career? And I had about 4 kids raise their hand. And I said, you've got to develop a maverick attitude. We have to learn more, be more, do more, build more. If you don't think you can win a ring for me, then maybe we need to re-examine whether or not we're going to play. Because we need to always have those kind of goals in mind. So when you see things on our socials, and if you don't follow our socials, I strongly encourage you to, because there's lots of information out there. The kids like to follow Instagram, and we have lots of good information on Instagram. Most of our parents follow Facebook. We have really good information for parents on Facebook. But you'll see us a lot of time use the hashtag #BeMoreMaverick, and all that means is be more tomorrow than you are today. So in the world of education here at Fort Smith, we are trying to develop ways for your students to be more, do more, learn more. And some of those are really great opportunities that are now available for your students in hands-on career and technical education. So I'm going to start with that. And if you guys have that white sheet that was out front that has different course opportunities for your kids, I'm going to start on the back of that, where it starts talking about career and technical opportunities. And if you didn't grab one, Ms. Williams has some right here, and if you raise your hand, I bet she'd bring you one, if you need a course selection sheet. The thing about the course selection sheet is if you go out on our website, for the Fort Smith Public Schools, there's a beautiful course catalog out there. It is quite the document. And it has a lot of really important things in it. But for students that are going to high school for their first time, sometimes what we find is the information in that course catalog, where it might help you come up with a 4-year plan, sometimes just picking your first classes for your first year in high school, it's a little overwhelming. So Ms. Williams and her department put together, this lady right here, I think, right here on the end. Those are sophomores. The pink ones from yesterday or blue ones yesterday were 9th graders. So what they did was they took these documents and tried to condense down courses that really appeal or courses that we offer that are available for sophomores. So we'll find that document will help you in conjunction with that course catalog. So one thing that we've really worked on as a district is career and technical education for our students. And you know, when people used to say to me, Lisa, are your kids going to take career and tech classes? I'm like, no, my kid's going to go to college. My kid's going to do this. My kid's going to do that. And as I've learned so much more about career and technical education, what I've discovered is it's not CTE or college. It's not career or college. Everything we do for our students is going to lead them towards a career. It's not college or career. It's career. Because that's the highway, and we take different exits off that highway to get to the career we want. So for some of my students, they're going to be able to do career technical 4 and get a certification and get a great job right out of high school, and that's their exit. Okay? For some of my students, they're going to take that a little bit further and they'll go to a 2-year school. For some of my students, they'll take that further to a 4-year school. Some will go even further than that. So if you think about health sciences as a pathway, that first one, right off the ramp, might be an LPN program that we could get you in at Peak and get you a job at Mercy or Baptist straight out of high school, making very good money to support a family. The next one, a 2-year, that might be a pharmacy tech. That might be other jobs in health sciences that require a little bit more. A little bit further might be a bachelor's in nursing. Further than that might be a family practice doctor. Then maybe it's a surgeon. It's the same highway. It's just different exits to get off towards that career. Okay? So we at Fort Smith Public Schools are in the process of building this state-of-the-art career tech center called the Peak Center of Innovation. And I'm sure some of you have seen things about this on the news. And it's very important for you guys to understand, even as sophomores, because I want you to hear this. What people are telling me is, well, Peak is for juniors and seniors. It doesn't matter to me, so I don't need to pay attention. And that's not true, because if you want to go to Peak as a junior or a senior and get involved in these amazing programs that are going on out there, there are some courses you have to take as a freshman or a sophomore to set that table for you. So at Peak, it is very much hands-on learning, and it was created working with professors from UAFS, people from the Western Arkansas Technical Center, and people from our own Chamber of Commerce who have said, this is the labor market that we need in Fort Smith that we cannot fill. These are high-paying jobs that students can get right out of high school, they can get with 2 years of college, or they can get with 4 years of college, that help them stay and raise families in the Fort Smith community, contribute back, because I want them to take care of me when I'm living here after I retire, right? So we want them to have every available opportunity. So at Peak, they are putting together 3 programs of study, and these are going to be important. 3 programs of study that our community says are really important. The first one of that is Principles of Health Science. I don't know if you know it, but a lot of our medical community has moved to Northwest Arkansas. We do not have that same base of medical community here that we used to have. And these are important jobs that we want to fill in our community. So the program out at Peak offers several different pathways for people that are interested in health sciences. A student there can leave with an LPN certification, take the NCLEX. They can be a nurse working at one of the hospitals right out of high school. I have a student right now. She's been going through that program, and next semester she will be doing all nursing school and clinicals at the hospital. So when she graduates in May and walks across our stage, she's not just going to get a diploma from me, but she is also going to have her LPN certification and go straight to work in a hospital, making about $40,000 a year, I believe is what an LPN makes. I mean, what a great opportunity. If she wants to continue on, there's a Bridge to Nursing program where she takes another like 60 hours and immediately gets her bachelor's. So it's an amazing opportunity for these students. And so that is one program that's out there, but there's also an EMS program out there. People who want to go on to be paramedics, we literally have an ambulance that's been donated out there, and they work inside the ambulance. People that are interested in dental hygiene, people that are interested, I even had a student who told me, I want to be a vet. Do you think it would be beneficial for me to go out there? I said, absolutely. Anything that has to do with anatomy, physiology, healthcare. And when you go out there, it's not book learning, it's hands-on. Like they have this big hospital room scenario out there, and they have all these stations where you get to put your hands on things. So for a lot of students, what an innovative idea that is. And I had a lot of people yesterday tell me, my child wants to be a doctor. Wonderful, what a great opportunity. If you think your child is going to be interested in that pathway, then next year, as a sophomore, they need to sign up for Principles of Health Science. Okay? That's a new course, and it would be required in order to go to Peak. Those seats are filled first by freshmen and sophomores. If there is room after freshmen and sophomores, we can put juniors in there. But we want to build the program to Peak, so freshmen and sophomores get those seats first. The second program that's available out at Peak is called Information Technology, IT. And I want to make sure we don't confuse that with computer science. They are 2 totally different pathways. Computer science is where we're going to teach your students about coding computers, making a computer do what you want it to do. Different languages. I don't even know them all. Last thing I heard, they were learning something about Python. That is really outside of my realm. But they do amazing things in computer science, and we have a great pathway for that right here at Southside High School. You would take computer science. You could take AP Computer Science Principles, AP Computer Science A, Mobile App Development. There are lots of different computer science courses that you would take here. IT, that's offered out at Peak, is how computers talk to each other. So when I go to my computer and I boot up Netflix, how does Netflix know how to get from their server to my server? It's not about writing the Netflix code, it's about getting the information and making computers talk to each other. So they would start, if you're interested in that, there's lots of really great jobs that can come out of that. You can go straight to work out of high school as a technician, working with computers that talk to each other, or every class out there, remember, is concurrent credit. What that means is you get high school credit and college credit at the same time. So that nursing program that I just told you about, my student who's going to walk across the stage in May, she will have 54 college credit hours when she walks across that stage. And she didn't pay a dime. That was free. 2 years of free college. So if you're interested in the IT program, it too gets you concurrent credit hours. And when you leave there, you can go straight into college with hours ahead of you and go on and be a network engineer. It's a great opportunity. The third one that's out there that the community has said that we really need is advanced manufacturing. When I first heard that, I thought, I had a grandfather who was in manufacturing, and he worked on the line, and things came, and he did his part, and then it moved on down the line. And they said, Lisa, have you been in a manufacturing facility lately? And I said, no. So I went out to ABB and saw what they have out there. I don't know if any of you have been out there. It's crazy. Like, they have all these robots and robot arms that are doing things. They have all these different computer activities. And what they're saying is we need skilled labor who can work in that kind of very clean, sterile environment to work on these types of machines. They pay crazy good wages right out of high school. And if you want to go on to college, it goes straight into industrial engineering, mechanical engineering. There are so many ways to take that the next step down the highway. So if your child is interested in anything to do with advanced manufacturing, the course that's on the back of that sheet that they need to take next year is Principles of Advanced Manufacturing, okay? Those 3 principal classes are prerequisites to go to Peak your junior or senior year, which is why I talk about it, even though it's not open yet. Because I want to make sure that you guys and anyone who's out there watching the live stream is aware of these different courses that will be critically important if you want to take advantage of those programs. Now, on the back of that sheet, there are some other programs that we offer here at Southside that I want to draw your attention to. We just started this year our sports medicine program, and so we offer 3 years of sports medicine here. So our students can start with foundations of sports medicine. That's what they would take as a freshman or a sophomore. Those classes are open to freshmen and sophomores first. Then we fill them with juniors. Then we go to seniors. Foundations of sports medicine. The next year they take injury assessment. There's a 3rd year course, and then their 4th year course they can go to work as an intern with some of our coaches across the district. And we can provide student interns for them. Student trainers who can go to the football games with the coaches and work alongside our district trainers to help give them that real world experience. It's a great program. We also have business programs. This next year, for the first year, we're going to have a small business operations class. You guys have seen all this beautiful construction, and it's not beautiful right now, but it will be. It's going to be amazing. And we're building a media center, and that media center is 2 stories. They're punching through the floor. And on the bottom floor, it has a lot of collaboration space, and it has a coffee bar that's being built in there that will be run by our small business operations class. So they will order the materials, they will provide the product, they will do the balance sheets, the income statements, they'll determine their profits and losses. They will run a business in Southside High School. That opportunity is available to kids as juniors and seniors. They would need to take survey of business and marketing classes. So taking these entry-level classes is critically important if you want to take those upper-level classes. The accounting pathways are very, very similar. We have logistics and transportation, lots of transportation industry around here. The survey of business is the first class, and some of your kids have already had it in 9th grade, and they can jump straight into accounting 1, marketing 1. So those are really important to have conversations with your student and your counselor to make those good decisions about those different pathways. The last one I'll talk to you about, unless you can think of one I'm forgetting, is family and consumer science. Family and consumer science is if your children are interested in going into culinary arts, are they interested in being a chef, are they interested in working with students, do they want to be a teacher, do they want to go into interior design and housing. There are lots of very specialized courses in the family and consumer sciences track. The first course they would need to take is family and consumer science. That one fills up very fast. Everybody wants to cook. I'm just telling you. So the priority goes to freshmen and sophomores so that they can be completers in that area. So if you think your child is interested in anything to do with textiles, clothing, housing, interiors, we want your child to look at family and consumer science. My main point here is to make sure as you're looking at that, you're considering your foundation courses. Okay? So turn that page over. All right, so when we get to the other side, I've talked to you about those hands-on career and technical type courses, but some of you may say, my child really hasn't figured out what they want to do yet. And you know, we're asking a lot of a 14 or 15-year-old to actually know that. And so one thing I tell kids all the time is, sometimes you're figuring out what you don't want to do, and that's okay too. When I was in Van Buren, all of my 9th graders had the opportunity to go job shadow, and we'll do that here as freshmen as well. And they'll come to me and say, Dr. Miller, I have got this, I've always wanted to do this, I've got a chance to go job shadow, can I get a school business day? And they can do that as long as they come back and they write all these different reflections and turn it into me. Then I'll give them a school business day for it. And I had a student who came to me and said, Dr. Miller, I want to go to this kindergarten classroom. I want to be a kindergarten teacher. My mom's a kindergarten teacher. My grandma's a kindergarten teacher. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I want to be a kindergarten teacher. I said, great. We'll hook you up. We'll send you up to this elementary school and you can job shadow a kindergarten teacher. And so she did. She was dressed all cute, went up to the school, was really excited. Next day she comes into my office and her head's down and she's got this piece of paper. I said, hey, what's going on? She said, Dr. Miller, I never want to be a kindergarten teacher. Never. They cry and they're snotty and I had to tie their shoes and they wouldn't pay attention and they were running everywhere. And I said, aren't you glad you know now? Aren't you glad you didn't waste all that time? So if your child tells you, I don't know if I want to take this Principles of Healthcare class. I really don't know what I want to be. Well, maybe you just need to figure out what you don't want to be. My son went through 7 majors in college. It took 5.5 years. Any idea how much that cost? Because he had no idea. No idea. So getting an opportunity to rule things out can be just as valuable as deciding what you do want to do. So on the front page of that document, there's a lot of information on there about core classes. Your children will take a math, science, and English and a social studies. Okay? All of our 10th grade students will take English 2. English 1 is for freshmen. English 2 is for sophomores. You can take an on-level version of that class, or you can take a pre-AP version of that class. Right? We don't take any AP English, is it? Okay. For sophomores in math, generally what we will see in that is we will have students that will take geometry. Some students will take pre-AP geometry. Many of our students will take pre-AP algebra 2. Depends on when you started algebra at the junior high level. Most of our sophomores will come in and take biology. On-level biology or pre-AP biology. Sometimes we'll see students that took biology as a 9th grader. Those students may come in and take chemistry or physics. They may decide they want to take an AP science class. That's something that you guys will work with your counselors and look at what your passions are, your career goals, and decide what science class you want to take. And then our sophomores will also take civics and economics. Those are both semester classes, civics and economics. Those are the required courses. If your child's moving in from somewhere else and has already had civics and economics, that's where her department can really help you out. They don't like me getting involved in that. I tend to mess that all up. So those are the 4 cores that they generally will take. If you decide that you want your child to take a foreign language, and I encourage that, we offer Spanish. We offer Spanish for native speakers. What that means is if you already know how to count to 10, your ABCs, dog, cat, up, down, because you're bilingual already, then that's not what you need from a Spanish class. We want to work on your reading and writing with fluency and try to get you certified bilingual. We do a bilingual assessment, and you get extra cores for graduation, and it's really a cool opportunity for our bilingual students. Another thing I used to tell my students all the time is if you already speak 2 languages, pick up a third. Picking up a third language once you have 2 is much, much easier. French, German, Latin. We offer all of those courses to your students. Latin has not seen the interest in the last couple of years, which I find really interesting. If you've got a student who is interested in medical pathways, Latin is a beautiful thing to take because so much of the medical pathway is based with Latin roots. So I encourage that as well. Don't do like me. I took like a year of French, a year of German, and I can't say anything. So think about what language is of interest to you and work your way through that pathway. I think that's a great way to go. If you haven't had any fine arts yet, we have amazing fine arts classes. If you are interested in the arts, we need everybody to take Visual Art 1 before you can take the upper level arts classes. We offer ceramics, sculpture, 2D, 3D, amazing art opportunities, but you'll have to take Visual Art 1 as a prerequisite. We also have lots of activities. We've got bands, choir, orchestra, all of that good stuff. Before I bring Coach Dameron up to talk to you about athletic opportunities, because that is a little bit different, yesterday's group was a little bit more interested because they wanted to know what all the freshman team configurations were going to be. You guys will jump into the varsity teams, the high school teams, so it's a little bit different. But I do have a lot of people ask me about pre-AP and AP classes. And I have a little different spin on this than a lot of people. I say if you're passionate about something, try a pre-AP class. Don't let it hold you back that you didn't do that as a 7th grader or an 8th grader. If you're passionate about something, if you love to read, let's try a pre-AP English class and work you towards a literature class. If you love foreign language, we can get you going in foreign language and get you towards AP Spanish 4. We are hoping to bring in AP French and AP German now that we have 4 years to offer that. Look for a class that you're passionate about and get in there and see what you can do. Don't let what anyone's told you back before put you in a trap. Learn on your own. See what you think is wonderful. I have a lot of students who come to us that have been taking pre-AP classes in the junior high, and they're very interested in AP classes in high school. We offer many, many, many AP classes, and they are available to you as sophomores. But I have some suggestions. So I know some AP classes that are very attainable for sophomores, where you don't go in and just like, lots of times I'll have someone go in and they immediately want to jump into AP Chem or AP Physics. Sometimes that's a tough load in your first year of high school. But there are 4, if you have a pencil and you're an AP kid, you might want to write these down. 4 that I very strongly encourage for sophomores. 1, AP Government and Politics. It will count as your civics class. It's a year-long class, but it gives you your civics credit. We find our students do very well on that assessment, and they love that class. Okay? Wouldn't you have loved to take it this year? What a crazy political year. Okay? The second one, AP Microeconomics. It's a semester class, and it gives you your econ credit. So if you're a good writer, reader, AP Government and Politics, and AP Microeconomics can get you your social studies. Okay? The civics component. The next one that I would talk about would be AP Computer Science Principles. And if you took that as a 9th grader, I'm not sure which schools offer it, but I know a couple of them do, then we've also got AP Computer Science A. But we find AP Computer Science Principles to be a very attainable class for freshmen and sophomores. Okay? The third one, if your child is interested in any of the social sciences, sociology, psychology, social justice, we have a class, they call it AP Huge, but it's AP Human Geography. People like acronyms. If you hear AP Huge, that's AP Human Geography. And what we tell our kids, well, you know what it means to be human. And we know geography is places, so put those together, and it's about people in different places, migration of people, anthropology, how did we get where we are. It's a very attainable class for sophomores. Very good class, freshmen and sophomores. The last one that I'll talk about, if your child is interested in taking multiple AP classes while they're at Southside, including AP US History, AP Literature, or AP Lang. Those tend to be pretty difficult classes. Those are junior and senior level classes. We have a class called AP Seminar, and it is a beautiful entry to the AP world. You learn how to work together, you learn how to write, you learn how to research, you learn how to defend an argument. It's a wonderful teacher. It is the first class in the AP Capstone program. So if you take that class and go on and take AP Research, you have the opportunity to get an AP Capstone diploma, which is really, really highly recognized, and we are one of the few in this part of the state that offer it. We're really proud of our AP program here at Southside. Even last year during the pandemic, our students who were taking tests from home scored 73% qualifying scores. That means of all of our students, 73% that took their exams earned college credit. The state average is 33, the local average is 62, and we scored a 72. So we're very, very proud of that program, and just because your child hasn't taken a pre-AP class before, that doesn't rule you out of that. Think about where your passions are. We're also very, very proud of our concurrent credit programs. We offer lots of hours for our juniors and seniors in concurrent credit to earn college credits. The blue brochure that you guys bought from us, when you open it up on the inside, you'll see a lot of things about those different programs. One that's not in there that I really like to talk about is we just won our 3rd consecutive College Success Award. They've only had that award for 3 years, and we've won it all 3 years. And what that means is we are recognized in this part of the state for being able to get our kids to college and for them to graduate from college. No small feat for the counseling department. If you think that's out of the realm of possibilities for you, don't think that way. We can help you. We will help you with the FAFSA. We will help you get scholarships. We will help you academically to get to a qualifying score on the ACT. We are so proud of the work we do here academically. We're proud of our school culture. We're proud of what it means to be a Maverick. So don't let any of the academics make you nervous. We are here to support you. We will get you there. We have a record of getting you there. And we're super, super proud of that. Okay, what am I missing? I know there was something else I wanted to say. It will come to me. Why don't you come talk, Coach Dameron, and then I'll remember. Oh, I'm going to tell you about STAR, and I'll tell you about that as soon as he's done. Don't let me forget STAR. Say what? Oh yeah, WOTC is another opportunity as well. It's very similar to PEAK, but what WOTC 2 is a junior and senior opportunity, and those classes are also concurrent credit. They teach a lot of the trades there. They teach welding and mechanics and criminal justice, some other things there. I had a student in Van Buren who got certified as a diesel mechanic there, made so much money, he put himself completely through college, went on to get an engineering degree, and then ended up going back and working as a diesel mechanic because he made more money doing that. It was an amazing opportunity. So WOTC is another great opportunity. Okay, Coach.
Athletics and activities. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself real quick. I graduated from high school back in 1970 and from Rogers High School, just up the road. And so this is home for me. And I left Rogers, played ball at Arkansas, and then I left to go coach college ball for about the last 35 years. And traveled all over the country and lived in a lot of places, all the way from Vegas to Toronto to Ithaca, New York to Oxford, Mississippi. And one of the biggest reasons that I came back here and got out of college football and came back to high school setting was to be able to come back home, number one. But also, when I came down and I was I'm remembering Southside. When I was in high school, we played Southside. And I knew what kind of a an environment and school and place that just had the reputation of being. I just never had been here. And a good friend of mine here had become the athletic director here, and Coach Mike Beaumont, and we had worked together at Ole Miss. And so after coming down, though, and meeting the people that I was going to be associated with, I couldn't wait to get there. And so I just want to talk to you about the support that we have for athletics and activities here at Southside is phenomenal. And everything always starts at the top, whether it's superintendent or whatever. And I think I got the best building principal in America. So I'm going to tell you, she gets it done. And so I'm really excited about being here. And this first year was a little frustrating, but the great thing about Southside is that we have a lot of programs who maybe in the past were really, really good, and over maybe the last few years haven't been quite as good. But let me tell you something. The way that the people are working here and the kids are working here, football, we're going to be better. We're going to. She's already told you she wants rings. She wants championships, and so do I. That's what I've been associated with my whole career. And so we're excited about the direction that we're going, not only in athletics. And the other things too is though I've been. My mother was a music teacher and she was the drum major in a band. And we have a phenomenal band and orchestra program here. And we have a lot of people who do a lot of different things. I'm big on multi-sport athletes and multi-dimensional people. We have a lot of, cheerleaders that also play in the band. We have football players that also play in the band. We have football players that play not only football, but basketball, football and baseball. We are big on getting the full high school experience in all sports. And if you can do more than one sport, we always encourage that. We're not a staff here. I've been around some of these places where you have a staff where everybody wants to hold on to their kid. Well, he has to be in my gym, or he has to be on my football. Here it's not like that. Our football players, as soon as we get through with our season, some went to baseball, some went to basketball, some are in track, some are in our off season. So we really encourage the athletes here on campus to help not just one team, but several teams. We have soccer players. It's tough a lot of times, though, like with soccer and football, because it kind of coincide. Or like golf. I had a ninth grader ask me, Coach, could I play golf and football? And well, they happen at the same time, so it makes it a little bit tough. But we'll try to work with anybody. But for the most part, though, if you're a football player, or if you're the other thing, whether it's football and then baseball, or if it's basketball for girls or boys basketball, but you also want to run track, or there's just a lot of different opportunities, and the coaches here really work very well together to share athletes and to share experiences and make sure. The other thing that I'm excited about here is the fact that I, for many, many years, have taken young college freshmen and tried to get them to navigate not only college football, but also college academics and get a degree. I was always big, hey, we want the ring and we want a degree. We want the ring and we want a degree. Well, it's exactly the same here. And my job, if you come and you're playing on my team, and you come as a sophomore or next year, we're going to have the freshman here, which is going to be fantastic. But my job is to get you ready to go play college football, not only academically, but physically and everything else, if you have that talent to do it. And I don't ever look at somebody in 9th grade or 10th grade and say, oh, he would never play college football. Because let me help you. When I was in 9th grade, you wouldn't have looked at me and said, oh, he'll play college football someday. He may play in the pros someday. You wouldn't have said that. And so, the first thing we do is we talk to every one of our kids about the fact that we want you to dream big. Dream big. Because let me tell you something, if you're shooting for up here, and you might just happen to end up here, that's still pretty good. That's still way up there. And so, you know, we expect our guys to have big dreams, not only while they're here, but for what they can do in their future. And that's the thing that, again, excites me about this place and about what we're doing, especially in the academic realm and all that, but also in athletics and activities. We all have very similar goals, and that is to get the best out of each and every student that walks in this door. And, you know, that's the job that excites me the most, especially when we're getting new incoming sophomores to join our team next year. And I will say this to you also, parents. I want you to understand this, because this is something that I know over the past years or whatever in a lot of different places it's come up. We do not allow hazing of sophomores here. That is not something, just because you're a young sophomore player, and back in the day they used to do that, all that stuff, you know, and all that, we don't allow that. We treat our sophomores, our juniors, and our seniors exactly the same. And we do not, it's not coming in like Dr. Miller was saying about, you know, especially for the sophomores, because now you have the freshmen here too. So you get to spend that year. You don't have to be that low man on the totem pole ever here. But anyway, that's something that, as a parent, I had a daughter that was a cheerleader, and as a young sophomore cheerleader, the first time she got into high school, I didn't know how that happened, but she got hazed a little bit. And I was like, are you kidding me? You know, so that's something that I feel very strongly about, and we never did it in college, and we darn sure don't do it here. Any questions about any other? I know the other thing I was talking about, the band and orchestra, but also our cheerleaders and the Southern Bells, and all, I mean, they're absolutely second to none. And the expertise that they're coached with from their sponsors and everything else is unbelievable. So, I don't know. Any questions? Somebody's got a question. Come on. Yes, ma'am. Gymnastics.
In the past, we've had a gymnastics team across the two schools. I don't believe we have one right now, but if your child participates in gymnastics outside of the school setting, we do have ways to give them athletic credits for that. So you'll need to visit with us about it, okay? My granddaughter's learning gymnastics, and it's super fun. I enjoy that.
Great question.
That's a great question.
I didn't know that. Anybody else? All right, well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Coach.
I do know that I've had some questions from some 9th grade parents, because there was a rumor out there that the band period and the athletics period would be the same and students would have to choose. We don't do that. Our master schedule is set up so that those do not conflict. Okay, so do not worry about that. Freshmen had heard that they would all be the same period, but that's not true. We're going to have many more gym floors next year, so we'll have an opportunity to spread people out. We'll have 4 gym floors next year, so it'll be much easier to manage. Okay, the last thing that I have for you is that pink piece of paper that you have, and it's talking about the Star Academy of Innovation at Southside. So I want to explain what that is to you very briefly, and then if you want more information, I can provide that to you. Last year, there were 3 schools who sat down and they wrote applications to be able to operate an out-of-the-box learning experience inside of their school. We got waivers from the State Department, and we've got these opportunities. So some of you may have heard of the Health Sciences Academy at Darby. They're doing that there. They're running this Health Sciences Academy. The Peak Center of Innovation is another one. And we have the Star Academy of Innovation at Southside. Okay? And what we do in that program, it's a school within a school. And so we have run a soft pilot of that this year, just with our sophomores. We have about 75 sophomores that are enrolled. Next year, we will open that to freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, okay? So that the sophomores that are in it now can roll up to the junior level, and we'll bring in freshmen and sophomores. It's a very different learning experience. It's great for some. It's not great for everybody. So let me explain it to you. It is not virtual school, okay? It's not virtual school. But the work is on the computer. So what happened was, if I'm thinking about English, the English teachers all sat together and they wrote their curriculum for English for the year. And the regular site face-to-face teachers teach that in a large group setting. And then the teachers in the STAR Academy developed that curriculum in Schoology. It was written by our teachers. It is not a third-party curriculum, okay? So it's the same thing. If a student moved into STAR at semester, they'd be at exactly the same place. If they moved out of STAR at semester, they'd be at exactly the same place. So in STAR, we work on the 16 core competencies. Those are the core classes required for graduation. Math, science, English, social studies for 4 years, okay? So my sophomores that are in there now are taking either geometry, pre-AP geometry, algebra 2, or pre-AP algebra 2. That's a sophomore level course that's required for graduation. My students that are in there for social studies are taking civics and economics. My students in there for English are either taking English 2 or pre-AP English 2. My students that are in there for science are either taking biology or chemistry, okay? Those are the courses that we offer in there right now. So what happens is, for the first 2 weeks, students will go from those rooms, bell to bell. And it's a school within a school, and it's above the new administrative offices, all brand new classrooms. They're really, really pretty, by the way. So up in that wing, there's a math, science, English, and social studies classroom. And for the first 2 weeks, when the bell rings, they move class to class. They're only in there for their core course. They come out for any of their electives. So a student might be in there for English first period, chemistry second period, go out for Spanish. Come back in for math, go out for art. Does that make sense? So they're with their cohort for the STAR classes, and then they go out for the others. Here's where it gets interesting, okay? After 2 weeks, they get what we call a free flow card if they're on track. And what that means is, if they really like the vibe in Mr. Z's class, they can work in there and do their work in Mr. Z's class. If they've got a friend and they're working collaboratively, there are these tables out in the hallway and they can work together. One of the classrooms is always a quiet room where kids can take tests or study quietly. One of them is more set up for group work. One of them, sometimes we'll have some music going on. It's just kind of based on the kids' vibe. It's beautiful as long as they're staying on track. If they get off track, we pull that free flow card and they have to go back and go class to class. Students move at the teacher's pace or faster. So we don't let them work slower, but they can work at the teacher's pace or faster. So what that means is, for a student who really excels in math, they might want to do like 3 weeks worth of math in 2 or 3 days, and then they can use both periods to work on English if that's a little harder for them. And because everyone's at their own pace, the teacher is never going to stand up in front of the class and lecture, because we're all doing different things at the same time. So if you're a student who doesn't do well with the teacher lecturing in the front of the class, but you do really well one-on-one, then this would be a great opportunity for you, because what you do is you say, okay, I'm really struggling with factoring in algebra today. So then you would send an email to your teacher. You don't have to raise your hand in front of the class. You don't have to be embarrassed in front of other kids. You send an email to your teacher and say, I'm really struggling with factoring. She'll say, come in today at 10:15. So whenever your STAR class is in, you go and you sit down right beside Miss Adams, and she works all that with you side by side. So it teaches your students several different things. In that first 2 weeks, we work with them on their computer skills. We work with them with time management. We work with them with organization and how to get help when you need it. Because what we find is, when we've got a classroom full of 30 kids kids don't want to raise their hand and ask a question and admit they don't know something in front of the teacher. So instead, it's very not harm-free. It's not what I'm looking for. It's not intimidating at all. They just shoot an email to their teacher calls me in, they sit down and they work together. Sometimes we'll see that lots of kids are struggling with a concept. And that's when the teacher might say, okay, on Wednesday, I'm going to teach a lesson on factoring all day. So whatever your math period is, make sure you come to my class so that you can catch this lesson. They'll do the same thing with labs in biology. You might say, okay, Thursday is biology lab. Everyone come to your class when you're scheduled for biology. We're going to meet in the lab, and we're going to do a lab in there today. Okay? So it's really different. Students have taken great advantage of that to excel, to go faster. I have a student who is finishing the entire year of Algebra 2 this month. So next semester, she's going to take pre-calc. So she'll be ahead. So she can go on and take other AP classes if she wants to. She can go to PE. She can take concurrent credit hours. She's getting her basics out of the way faster. Okay? My son might not have been great in this. I would have to tell that teacher he needs to be patient with you every day. You put the lesson on the board and he has to get it done. Because he doesn't have the self-discipline to do what some of the other students might do. I've got another son who would be great at it. He would take his notes, he would work ahead. For your students that are super uber involved, I immediately think of my volleyball girls who play JO. They are so busy. It's a really great setup for them because they've got their own time frame. There's really no homework in there. It's all on the computer. So if you're getting it done in class, you don't have to worry about lessons outside of school. And if you miss school for any reason, the work is right there. They just take their Chromebooks with them when they go to a tournament and they keep up. Does that make sense? You can work ahead and not worry about it. But if you get behind, teacher's going to yank your free flow card and we're going to start calling parents and really get you back on track. For students that are self-disciplined, they've got good study skills, they show good perseverance, they work really well side by side with the teacher, this is a great opportunity for them. It's called the Star Academy of Innovation at Southside. We're taking applications right now. Those applications are available on our website. It's just a Google form, and they close on December the 11th. Now, if it doesn't fill, we may open it back up for more people to come in at that time. But right now, we're trying to get an idea of how many people are interested. We're filling sophomores, freshmen and sophomores first. Our juniors our sophomores that are already in it will be able to maintain as juniors if they like. The only thing that's different is, let's say, instead of taking civics, you're going to take AP Government and Politics. Then in STAR, you would take math, English, and science, and you would go out for your AP course because that's considered an elective. Okay? Really cool opportunity, but you need to talk to your kids about it. The other thing is we're doing lots of tours right now. If your child hasn't been to Southside, if you want more information about STAR, if you want to talk to Coach Dameron individually, we're setting up tours. All you have to do is call the school office. You'll get my secretary. They'll ask you some questions about what you're interested in so we can try to personalize your tour. We have to do them after 3:30. We cannot have visitors on our campus until the kids are gone because of COVID restrictions. Okay? So if you're wanting to see the new construction, you're going to want to wait and schedule that tour like in April. But if you need information about any of these programs, you want to know more before you sign up, you can always call the counselor's office. Ms. Williams can help hook you up with the right counselor. You can call my secretary. We can schedule a tour. Or you can email me at any time. I mentioned this last night. By the time I got home, I had like 5 emails. So my email address is lmiller, just like Lisa Miller, at portsmouthschools.org. And either I will respond or I will send it to the right teacher or counselor to have them respond for you. So we're highly encouraging tours. The construction's not done, so there's not as much to see, but to get a feel for who our teachers are, what we have available, and I will tell you when this construction is done, it's going to be like the slickest place you have ever seen. It's really cool. I can't wait. The cafeteria opens in January, and I got to step in there today, and they're really getting far. It's really an awesome experience. What have I forgotten? STAR, tours, athletics and activities, AP, peak, Watsy. Hack is open for you to schedule classes right now, okay? I know the counselors in your schools have been working with your children. Hack is open. You'll go in and put in your course requests. Hack will close December the 11th. So we need you to go in and make sure those courses are in there. We'll be making contact with kids that didn't get their schedules in that week before Christmas, and we will be sending you over course verification sheets in January for you to be able to take a look at those and make sure those are the courses that you wanted. Part of the reason we're doing this so early this year is because some of our staffing for the Freshman Academy and for the change depends on what courses children take. I might need another art teacher. I might need another Spanish teacher. I might not. And so we've got to get really good tallies on what our students are interested in January so that we can move to the hiring phase of reconfiguration. So that kind of explains why you haven't even finished the first semester yet, and we want you to think about next year. Got about 10 minutes. Anybody have a question for me? Oh my gosh, I must be good. Y'all look just like a class when I walk in.